So I'm glad you brought up Brooklyn Castle. So a friend of mine was interviewed on this podcast named Josh Waitzkin. He was the basis for Searching for Bobby Fischer. So very well known as a chess player. And I've heard you talk about I think it's the 3 to 6 p.m. as the danger zone. And I'm on the advisory board for DonorsChoose.org and a number of nonprofits related to education. Why are you so passionate about after-school programs?
Because I felt that when I grew up, even though we were very poor, but I had someone there 24 hours a day for me to improve, to learn, to do sports, and to get attention, and to get the love, and to get the discipline. It was tough upbringing, but it was a combination of great discipline and also love. And but I felt like that having someone there with you 24 hours a day, from the time in the morning you get up to the time you go to school, and there were the teachers there, and there were the coaches there, and there was the school principal and all of them, and then you go home and there's your mother there helping you with your homework, and then in the evening your dad comes home and takes you to the soccer field and the sports with you, and in the winter ice curling and all those things. So I just felt, when I watch and go from school to school, which I did when I was the chairman of the President's Council on Physical Fitness and Sports, I traveled through all 50 states and visited one school after the next. And I always at 3:00, I felt like these kids are going out there. And then I saw half of them standing around in front of the school and then wandering around. The other half were getting picked up. And I said to myself, what happens with those kids out there? And the teachers or the principal will always say, well, the problem today is that so many parents are working. Both of the parents are working, and they don't have really the ability to pick up their kids from school. And what happens is a lot of these kids then get into trouble, And so then I started looking into it. The idea of after-school programs, and I saw that there are after-school programs around, but they're not really well organized. And so I stepped in. I started after-school programs here in Los Angeles. We very quickly then spread them all over California and then all over the United States. And now we're in like 13 or 14 cities all over the United States, including we're in Hawaii. And they have been really beneficial. It really has become one of my passions. And it's just simply, like I said, I had that upbringing. I had the attention 24 hours a day, and it helped me to be who I am. And I felt bad for the kids when they don't get an equal shot, because the only way you can be successful is if you really get this kind of attention. And if you don't get kind of in a situation where you float around on the streets, then you get involved with gangs and with drugs and with violence and like I said, teenage pregnancy, and you commit juvenile crimes, and you end up in jail. It doesn't serve anybody, and it costs the community a lot of money. And the way I got Republican support for that in California and had them endorse my initiative was because I showed to them that for every dollar we spent, we save $3 down the line. And so from a fiscal point of view, they endorsed it, even though they don't like the nanny state thing and to have government step in and do the job for parents. The Democrats endorsed it for that. They thought that government is responsible and we ought to do something because it's the new challenge that 70% of the kids come from homes where both of the parents are working and they do not have time for the kids in the afternoon. So who is helping this kid with homework? Who is helping this kid with tutoring and with sports programs and adult supervision and giving the kid the love that the kid needs and the confidence building that the kid needs? And for that, after-school program is the number one answer to the problem. We have seen it over and over, what great success rate we have had with after-school programs. And hopefully the movement will grow, and eventually every child will have the opportunity to join an after-school program if they don't have a parent at home that can help them with all those things.
I grew up on Long Island, and I was a competitive athlete. I was a wrestler for a very long time, and that kept me out of trouble. And I can see how easily both of my parents worked. Many of my friends growing up there ended up overdosing on drugs, becoming involved with drugs because they had idle hands during that period of time.